I'm going to redo this. With Jessie's bow, I was taught, this is a shorter paddle bow. I'll put carefully on the ground. You can see the difference, couple differences here between Jessie's bow and Phil's bow. Phil's is red oak board bow. Jessie's red oak board bow that's going to be sinew bagged. Phil's is going to be self bow at a very doable weight for not an unbagged red oak bow. Phil's bow bias ring came from the same board. It did. It was a very wide board, 3 blanks out of it. Steve's bow was over here, which is already in Steve's hands. Bias ring, then it goes to flat sawn, which I intended the flat sawn board or bow would be bagged. And then the backed bias ring bow of Steve's. Another difference, you see, this is dark. This has been fire hardened, and it even changes the color of the back. Another difference, the tips. This is a constant taper. It's actually kind of rounded a little bit. In this one, Jessie's is rounded in this way, which will lend itself to gently put Phil's bow down there. 3 different ways of doing the tips. 1, an overlay with the string groove on the overlay. 2, a wedge, which was used in ancient Europe, probably used in North America too. Make a wedge, and then sinew wrap it, and then the string is held on by the wedge. Number 3, which I would probably do, is just kind of round. This is square and cross section. I would round it, make it look pretty, and then a sinew collar to hold it on, which would be like a pin knot. Okay. Now, another difference, jumping back to the first difference, because the bow's side by side and the various of wood grain, growth ring orientation, it's flat sawn. So when you're looking at it, you couldn't tell that this isn't a stave-made bow because you don't see the lines running in it. Oh, it's kind of nice. It does have, there's an island, a growth ring right here, which is not of any consequence because it's going to be sinew backed, and it's also a very wide, thin bow. You could actually have islands, believe it or not, in red oak on a bow of moderate weight because it's wide. This is almost 2.5 inches wide at the widest, which would allow you to actually have violations and growth rings and still have a working bow. But it's going to be sinew backed, which adds, it's safe. Safe as a babe in its mother's arms. Now this is fully rounded. It's basically a finished bow. You could just sinew back it, and it's going to be heavier than 45 pounds, but you want 45 pounds at 24 inches of draw, so you're going to have to modify it. I'm not going to offer too many alternatives for how to go about that. Of course, you could round the back first, judging it at a reduced draw length, and you can securely get a string on both tips without, having collars and stuff. You just have tight knots on there, and it'll grip long enough. It'll grip hard enough. And you can judge. I would judge before I sinew backed it, 'cause I've done this a lot. The draw weight, it's say 15 inches. I want to go to 24, so I know how much to reduce it to get it to the final weight at 24 by just feeling it at 15. I'm not going to draw this all the way back because fire hardening, just safety-wise. So I'm going to suggest sinew back it, let it cure a bit, as long as you want, whatever, and reduce it by sanding the belly. This is a very slow process on this bow for fire hardening, which means that the penetration was greater. If I just over hot fire and just kind of flashed it, it would be more surface. But this took a long time. It took an hour and a half at least to fire harden, so it went deep enough to where you can sand the belly and not affect it. Not affect the fire hardening. I need to learn how to finish my thoughts. But yeah, moderate amount of reflex, fire hardened, fully rounded. It's a cool little bow. Did I mention it before? I don't know. I've done so many takes on this. This would be, because the stiffness of Osage compared to red oak? Not that much difference, believe it or not. This would be a candidate for a 28-inch, not 24 because this is red oak, but a 28-inch, 60-inch paddle bow. You could do this and get a 28-inch draw out of Osage with this design. It's kind of an interesting thing. You know, so many bows, so little time. But that would be cool. That would be very cool. It would have to be a relatively large Osage log, you know, to get relatively low number of violations in the growth rings. But again, you're sinew backing it, so. And it's wide and very thin. This is very thin through here. With that, I'm going to close this video down. I like this. Let's make another one. I actually, this is like one of one here, but I've got the template over there so I can reproduce it. But yeah, because Jessie wanted a 60-inch paddle boat, it's like, yeah, that's a heck of an idea. I'm going to develop one for that. I like it. Oh, last note. This really helped. You know, honestly, I don't remember if I even mentioned this. I'm not awake yet. But I can get 3 paddle bows out of one set of strips of 60 grit sandpaper. I use a rubber eraser, this one right here. To get the clogging sawdust out of here, sanding dust out of there. And it's just held on with rubber cement. And this is one full sheet. I sized this thing so I could fully use one full sheet if I cut it into 3 strips. This handle, yeah, it takes an hour to do the back of a paddle bow. Even though this isn't rounded where I'm holding it, it still makes a heck of a difference. And I can get more pressure on it easily. Now I'm done.